This is the Grand Seiko SBGP017, and it's a Grand Seiko that is supposed to bring you back and remind you of their humble beginnings, as well as show you how far they've come as a watchmaker too. So in this video, I will show you the four most important features of the SBGP017 and address the most common questions I get from you about this watch, like, does the watch case fit smaller wrists? What's the deal with the star on the dial? Is the price even worth it for, a quartz watch? I will answer these questions and everything else you need to know if you are interested in this watch in this review. As always, I will show you the watch in all of its beautiful details, and by the end of this video you will know exactly whether this watch is of interest to you or not. So let's get started. Right, as always, let's cover the hard facts first here. This is a watch with a 40mm diameter, a height of 10.7 and a lug-to-lug of only 46.2mm. According to Grand Seiko, this is water resistant up to 100 meters, and the entire case and bracelet are made from a stainless steel. You've got sapphire on both sides, so up and down, a case with the famous Grand Seiko Zaratsu polishing, and a bracelet that is closing with a folding clasp and a nice little click. Inside beads the 9F85 in-house quartz movement, which I'm going to cover later. So as you can tell, this is a very solid compact watch that is easy to wear in everyday situations, thanks to it being full steel and its water resistance. And since this has a lug-to-lug of only 46.7mm, small wrists like mine, as you can see here, can get away with it, but due to the light colored dial and the 40mm diameter, it still looks rather big on the wrist. So I would say ideally your wrist circumference should be about, say, like 160mm and more to give the dial and case enough room to shine. Right, as I have mentioned, this is a special Grand Seiko. It is from Grand Seiko's Heritage Collection, a collection of watches that pay homage to their beginnings and, just milestones in general. And the SBG017 specifically is called the Grand Seiko 44GS 55th Anniversary Limited Edition. So this one celebrates the 55th anniversary of the 44GS case design. The 1967 44GS was the first watch from Grand Seiko in their now well-known Grand Seiko style. So this one was basically the first to follow their 9 main design elements based on 3 principles. The principle number 1 is that the design should have a flat surface and 2-dimensional curves. The principle number 2 is that the flat surface of the case and dial and hands should be as wide as possible. And the principle number 3 states that every surface should be distortion free and have a mirror surface. And they've got their 9 design elements to cover things such as a double index at 12, a highly mirrored polished bezel, multifaceted hands, and many more. So before 1967, Grand Seiko themselves said that they were just more focused on getting the actual movement part of the watchmaking right, so just focusing mainly on the precision of the movements. And when they felt that they've got that nailed down and covered, they followed with focusing on the design. So all in all, this watch is an homage to those beginnings when Grand Seiko felt confident in their movements and wanted to achieve the same with their design too. And now that we know what makes this anniversary watch so special and what exactly it celebrates, there's still more to it than you might think, and it is more or less, hidden in plain sight here. I mean, you could think that this style design, with the baby blue color and the texture is just, a simple design choice. Perhaps some designer at Grand Seiko just loves this color and was playing around with it. But with Grand Seiko, there is always a very specific reason for every little design choice that they make. So, let's decode the dial together here. So first, there's the color. This is a very soft light blue inspired by the sea of clouds around the mountain range in the Shinsu region where Grand Seiko watches are coming from. This specific texture on the dial is meant to represent the special type of cloud formation that only appears on some mornings in this area, because sometimes the air there is so still and humid that these very dense clouds are gathering and overlap to create this sea of clouds above the lowlands there, and that stretches away on the horizon in every direction. And it has this very tinged blue, which is reflected down from the clear skies above them. And even though this is such a poetic design process, Grand Seiko decided to not give this watch a special nickname like they did with the white birch, for example. So it is simply, and it just remains, the 55th anniversary as SBGP017. It doesn't really, roll off the tongue like that. So I'd like to hear from you guys if you know if this watch has already gotten a special nickname or what kind of, name you would give to this one. So, let me know what you think in the comments down below. well. There's also another detail I would like to mention that I get asked a lot about, and that is the very tiny little star at 6 o'clock. It's not only a very cute little design detail, but also an indicator of the kind of accuracy we're dealing with here. Every Grand Seiko watch that carries that little star has a 9F quartz movement built inside that runs with an accuracy of ±5 seconds per year. Other than that, you can see how Grand Seiko followed their 9 design elements, with the applied hour markers that you've got. You have, as I mentioned before, the double marker at 12, or the multifaceted hands and everything else. Okay, now that we know what this watch is all about, we still need to cover the price and availability. So, let's quickly get that out of the way. This is a limited edition watch with a total of 2,000 watches available. It retailed for $3,800, and as of right now, there are currently 8 watches available on Chrono24 for an average of about, I would say, like $4,800, depending on, the condition of the watch and where it is located. So you would not only have to pay slightly above retail for this watch, but also about like 4.8K for a quartz watch, which is something a lot of people take issue with. So, the question remains, is it worth its money? Like, should I really be paying this much for a quartz watch? And well, here's the thing. I know in theory for quartz movement, this is really expensive, but this is also Grand Seiko quartz movement, and that is what makes the big difference. I would say it is technically extremely refined. You can set the hour hand, for example, individually. So, like switching through time zones is not only super easy, but also very accurate to set. And, on top of that amazing accuracy, you also get the heavily detailed watch from Grand Seiko themselves built around it. So anyways, after all, only you can decide whether or not it is worth the money when it comes to quartz. Okay, now that we have covered all the hard facts, we know which wrists it would fit best, and we are aware of the story behind the watch and, whether or not it is worth the price. I want to shortly add my likes and dislikes to sum it all up. So, let's get the bad stuff out of the way first, which is something I'm sure some of you have already noticed, and that is the application of the Grand Seiko logo on the dial. That one really actually did surprise me, and I was a bit bummed out by this. So, usually with Grand Seiko, you get extreme precision down to a macro level of detail. So I'm really not sure what happened here. The blue coloring of the logo looks really wonky, and just overall, the logo does not look too great close up. It is as if this blue paint was distributed not too well, which resulted in these uneven edges. I mean, it is not the end of the world, don't get me wrong. And, it's really hard to spot without zooming in and like that, but still, I was a bit bummed out here, to be honest. I really did not expect that from Grand Seiko, but, besides that, I personally am so in love with this perfect baby blue color. It is, this amazing, very cool toned light blue that matches the stainless steel so well, and is really brought out by this cloudy texture of the dial. It just works so well together. And I mean, overall, I am a huge fan of the dial design, and that paired with the accuracy of the watch is really just a win-win in my book. And here we have it. Those were the 4 points you absolutely need to consider before buying a Grand Seiko SBGP017. You now know exactly what to look out for, how it wears, what makes it so special, and the significance of the star on the dial. And at the end of the day, you know whether or not this watch is a good fit for you or not. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, subscribe to the channel, and then I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye.